بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وعلى السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to the Fiqh class. Today inshallah we will discuss Ahkam al-Adahi, the rulings of the slaughter. And we have 3 points to discuss. When does the slaughter begin? Now we knew the age, we knew the type of the animals that we can slaughter. Now, when do we start slaughtering? What time? And what time does it end? And what about the nights? If we say that we can slaughter on that day, does that include the night also, 2 a.m., or it is only the day? These are the issues that we will discuss. Now, when can you perform the udhiyah? What time does the udhiyah start, where you can slaughter your sheep or your camel or your cow? After Salat al-Eid. Salat al-Eid is at 9 a.m. and you slaughtered at 8 a.m. Can you do that or no? No? Why not? Why not? 9 o'clock you cannot. You have to pray and you go straight to the work. Can you slaughter your udhiyah before the Eid prayer? All scholars agreed that you cannot. All scholars agreed that you cannot. Okay. After the Eid prayer, can you slaughter?
Yes.
What about the slaughter before the Imam? You prayed the Eid at 9 o'clock and the Imam was busy, and at 10 o'clock he slaughtered. You slaughtered at 9:30. That is fine? So it is the prayer what counts. It is not the slaughter of the Imam. Why? What's the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ?
He said hasten for Eid al-Adha, so that the people have time.
Yeah, and that's what the Imam tried to do, but he was caught up with some people with that. So you don't care, you slaughter.
There's nothing to indicate that it's...
There is nothing to indicate that you follow the Imam.
that the slaughtering is subjected
to the Imam. Actually, there is a narration that the Prophet ﷺ commanded Abu Burda radiallahu anh, who slaughtered before him, to slaughter again. So based on that, some scholars said your slaughter has to be after the Imam, not before him. Yes, it has to be after the Eid prayer, and it has to be after the Imam as well. But what if the Imam did not slaughter? What if you are in an area where you want to slaughter and there is no Eid prayer? You are a Muslim in a village with 5 members only. What do?
You pray Eid.
You
pray Eid.
How you pray Eid? You have only 5 people. 3 of them are women. And you give khutbah al-Eid for one brother.
Yeah,
That is permissible?
because of the word Jama'at, because it means 2 people can have one person and one giving khutbah, one listening.
Where Jama'at means 2 people? Yeah, but Jum'ah and Eid.
That was one opinion, right? You said that one opinion.
So if it was one opinion, then that's it. It's okay. And since it was said, so we say it is permissible. This is the issue that scholars differed on. They all agreed that you don't perform the udhiyah before the Eid prayer. What about people who ask others to perform the udhiyah on their behalf? In other countries, they pray Eid before us. And they slaughter while it is still 4 a.m. in our time, our local time. And this is before the Eid prayer. We prayed at 8 o'clock. So they slaughtered 4 hours before our Eid prayer.
The day before. This is an issue that we get asked sometimes.
Yeah, so what do you give the answer?
It's your prayer that counts.
What?
It's your prayer that counts.
Your prayer. So it is not valid. Whoever sent money or sent udhiyah to be slaughtered in Bangladesh, in India, in Pakistan, in all these countries, it is invalid. What?
It's a good issue
It's a good issue to what?
to address.
To address. That's the time to address it. My salah. My salah, again, it is at 8 o'clock. They slaughtered at 4 o'clock.
It is not valid.
It is not valid. On what grounds it is not valid?
It's your slaughter.
But it's your slaughter. You're not the one who's slaughtering it.
I think it's not valid.
You think it is not valid. I think it is valid. As long as the udhiyah is slaughtered after the Eid, in that location, in that locality, then it is valid. What is the last time to slaughter? Now we agreed on the beginning that it has to begin after the Eid prayer. What is the last time to slaughter? The third day of Tashriq. What is that, the third day? Tell me in numbers. We have 10th, which is the day of Eid. So on what day?
By Maghrib
13th?
13th.
13th. So how many days do we have for slaughtering? 4 days? How many days do we have for slaughtering? 4 days or 3 days?
4 days before.
Or 1?
3 plus 1.
3 plus 1. Why 3?
Is there 3 days of Tashriq?
Yeah, 3 days of Tashriq.
The 3 days of Tashriq,
And the Eid day.
isn't the Eid day included?
No.
So it is day of Eid, 1, 2, 3. 3 days of Tashriq. That's the opinion of who? Because some scholars said it is only the day of Eid that you sacrifice him. Other scholars said it is the day of Eid and 2 days after. And the other opinion says it is the day of Eid and 3 days after it. So you have actually 4 days. You have actually 4 days. But there are 3 opinions. And the opinion actually of the majority that it is the day of Eid and 2 days only, not 3 days. According to Imam Shafi'i and Imam al-Awza'i, rahimahumullah, it is what? 4 days. It is the day of Eid and 3 days after. Why? They say because these are the days of slaughtering. These are the days of Tashriq for the Hujjaj. They can harry in 2 days and they can stay for 3 days. Plus the day of Eid. So these are 4 days.
Why did the majority limit it?
Because there is a hadith says the slaughtering days are the day of Eid and 2 days after it.
Who said 1 day?
Some scholars.
They're not from the major schools.
They are followers. Now, when we say the day of Eid, someone comes at 9 p.m. and he slaughters. Is that valid? Or no?
The day of Eid? After Salah? Yeah, it's valid.
It's 9 p.m. in the night, evening.
Yeah, there's no limit on it. I mean, you have to do it as early as possible.
You have to do it as early as possible. But again, I have 3 days. Didn't
Yeah,
we?
so you have 3 days, but you still have to do it as early as possible.
Yes.
Stop at sunset, before sunset.
Shouldn't we stop before sunset? We don't slaughter after that?
No, if you need to eat sometime.
You need to eat in the evening. Do you slaughter in the evening or no?
There's no time limit on that.
There is no time limit. How there is no time limit? When the Prophet ﷺ he says the days of Eid.
No, that time limit is there, but I meant
What do you mean?
in the day you can slaughter any time, as long as the Eid Salah is finished.
So when we say day, what does that mean?
Day and night.
When you say day, it means day and night? Did the Prophet ﷺ say the day of Eid or the day and night? Again, what are the nights included or no?
Yes, they're included.
They are included? On what grounds?
In general,
You have the time frame between 4 days and 3 days.
Yeah, 4 days, but again, you just said 4 days. Did you say 4 days and nights?
you don't have to say day and night.
You don't have to say it's assumed.
You don't have to say it's assumed. Who assumed it?
Understood.
How it is understood?
Use it both.
Everybody knows.
It's used both. When you say
Everybody knows?
Yeah.
When you say, I'm coming on this day, and you come in the night, would that be implied? Don't we say there is daytime and nighttime?
On this day, yeah, but you can say night. Whatever's required.
There is difference of opinions. Some scholars, and the basis of this difference again is the term day, yawm. Does it include night or no? Why the Prophet ﷺ said yawm wa layla? For the muhrim, for the woman, it is forbidden on her to travel a day and night without a mahram. If it was understood, then there is no need. So the usage of the religion, the lawgiver, sometimes included nights, and it meant days and nights, and sometimes it did not. So it meant only the day. The equivocality in the term day, does it include night or no? That's why scholars differed. Okay. Now, what about the meat? We slaughtered, we have good meat, fresh meat. What do we do with that meat?
Split it into 3.
Split it into 3. Why? That's the sunnah. I want to have it all. I've been hungry for...
No, not this sacrifice.
Not this sacrifice. Why? What is the sacrifice? Isn't it to shed blood? And I did that. I want to eat the meat now. What?
You have 1/3.
it's better if you divide it into 3.
It's better, but I don't want the better. It's better to feed myself. I'm hungry, so I will...
Hungry, you deserve it. I guess it should know. It's better if you divide it.
can I have it all? No?
You can, yeah. Yes.
You can.
But I mean, you really shouldn't, because you're treated as a worship. You should divide it.
Okay, you say I shouldn't, then that's fine. I will not eat at all. I will give it up all. What?
It's better.
Can you give it up all?
That you can.
You can? Why?
Because you're giving just your part. It's your part to do whatever you want.
You don't eat. Do you agree with him?
You can do whatever, Sheikh, but it's better if you divide
You
it.
can do whatever.
No. But it's better if you divide it into three, but you can do whatever.
What do you do with this slaughtered meat? With the meat of the sacrifice? Again, go to the evidence. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? In Surah Al-Hajj. فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطْعِمُوا الْبَائِسَ الْفَقِيرِ. Eat from it and feed the needy, the poor, the destitute. What does it mean? When you read this ayah, what do you understand from it? What do you understand from it? Allah is telling you, eat and feed. So do you have to eat and feed?
You have to feed.
You have to feed, but you don't have to eat. So the ayah is null.
No, the ayah is not.
Then what's the meaning of the ayah? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَكُلُوا فَكُلُوا. This is amr, this is a command. Eat from it.
If you're allowed to do it overseas, you know, and it's your share, so you can give it away.
Who said it is allowed to do it overseas?
Scholars.
Sheikh, they just take tickets and give it. You can buy tickets and give it, so it should be okay.
It should be okay.
Yes.
But you can't keep it all.
No, according to the ayah, you have to do that. You have to eat some and give some.
So how do you interpret the ayah again? فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطْعِمُوا الْبَائِسَ الْفَقِيرِ.
It's good if you do it.
Only it is good. So if it is good, then I want to eat it all.
Yeah,
That's fine?
No. Didn't the Prophet Muhammad say that you have to eat from what you slaughter?
Did he said that? You tell me, did he or didn't he? Can you find out? Can you find out for us?
You don't have to. You're not sinful for not eating.
You're not sinful from not eating. And you are sinful if you did not give up some of it. What is the evidence
Well,
for?
I mean,
You mean what?
because you don't have to do it in the first place.
You don't have to do it in the first place. And now you have to eat from it. Or you don't have to eat, but you have to give it, to give some of it. See, you are inconsistent.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. The recommendation, of course, according to all scholars, is to divide it to 3 shares. According to the Zahiriyya, you eat and you give, according to the ayah. But the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that you divide it. 1/3 for you, 1/3 as a gift, your relatives, your neighbors, the imam of the masjid. 1/3 in charity. But is this division mandatory? It is only recommended. So what is mandatory? Again, scholars differed. Do you have to eat? Do you have to give? Okay. Can you sell the meat? No? Why? It is sacrificed. I sacrificed. According to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, I divided it to 3 parts. Okay? MashaAllah, this sheep was really big. So I got 5 pounds. And I donated 5 pounds. And I gifted 5 pounds. I did that. My 5 pounds, now I want to sell it. Now, there was a disease, virus, that killed all the sheep and the meat price just jumped. Skyrocketing prices. So now, the 1 pound is for $50. So I say this is $250. That's a good money. Can you sell the meat? Why not?
I mean, your whole reward will go away.
Why? I already gave 1/3. You said divide it to 3/3. I divided it. Now I don't want to eat from it. I just want to sell it. Why? What? Not logical to who? Can you sell the meat or no? Ijma'.
But this one's tricky.
Can you or can't you? There is an agreement that you cannot sell the meat. You cannot sell the meat. What about not selling it but exchanging it for the butcher who skinned and cut the meat? No, again, you cannot. You cannot. Okay, fine. I will not sell the meat. What about the skin and the wool? The leather? Well, it will go and it will be thrown in the trash. So I took it. I cannot sell it. I cannot sell it? Okay, fine. I took it. I tanned that skin and I made a jacket out of it. Is that fine? Yes or no?
But you don't keep it, you give it.
I give it? Why? Come on. See how much you are inconsistent? Because you can keep the meat, but you cannot keep the skin. I took the skin, I tanned it, and I made a jacket. Can I wear it? Can I wear it or no? Of course I can. I said, okay, I don't need the jacket. I will sell it.
No, you can't.
La ilaha illallah. Why?
You can't make any money out of this.
You can't make any money out of this?
No, you cannot.
Why?
You cannot.
No. Here, some scholars said you can exchange benefits, but not money, not cash money. Other scholars said you can sell it. And the rest, they said, no, you cannot sell it. So there is 3 opinions. They say the skin and the wool does not take the ruling of the meat. According to Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, you can exchange things, non-monetary things. Next is the book of slaughtered animals. Now, we're moving from the day of Eid and the sacrifice to animals in general. And this is a very important book. In this discussion, first we will discuss the subject matter of slaughter and sacrifice. Then we'll discuss the description of slaughter and sacrifice. Then we'll discuss the instrument with which slaughter and sacrifice are undertaken. What kind of knives, swords, rocks can you slaughter with that or no? Conditions of lawful slaughtering. Persons who slaughter. These are the 5 topics in this chapter. And the first is the subject matter. Which is the animals. Animals, in terms of lawful slaughter for consumption, are divided into 2 types. Animals that are not lawful without lawful slaughter. Like what? Like what? What kind of animal is not lawful without lawful slaughter? All meat. Cow, chicken, all this. And then animals that are permitted to eat without lawful slaughter. Locust. Okay. Here is very important rule, and I leave it to you to read it. They agreed that the animal whose meat becomes lawful for consumption is the warm-blooded land animal. land animal. That's what needs to be slaughtered, which is neither prohibited nor one with damaged vital organs, nor that for which hope has been given up because of fatal blow, goring, falling from a height, ravenous attack by predator or disease. That's the kind of animal that you can slaughter and it becomes lawful. They also agreed that sea animal is not in need of dhaka. And this is the term that we will use from now on, inshallah. Dhaka. Dhaka, look at my tongue, it is dhaka. It is different than zakah. Zakah, we already talked about it. It is the zakah that you pay 2.5%. Dhaka is the lawful slaughtering. That's what we mean by dhaka. Tazkiyah. And again, there is difference between tazkiyah and tazkiyah. Tazkiyah is purification, while tazkiyah means slaughtering. Dhaka. Is that clear? Now, after their agreement, we will come to the issues of disagreement. What did they disagree on? They disagreed about the effect of dhaka on the categories of animals that have been prohibited in the ayah if they were caught alive. What are the animals that are prohibited in the ayah? What ayah we are talking about here? Surah Al-An'am. Very good. MashaAllah. What ayah in Surah Al-An'am? We need to read the entire surah? What ayah is it?
You're talking about whatever's caught?
We're talking about types of animals that are prohibited because their death happened either because of goring, because of fatal disease, blow, or these things. What is that mentioned? 160s. Good. It is in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Surah 5, Ayah 3. Ayah 3. حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنطيحة وما أكل السبع. These are the prohibited ones. Whatever was attacked by wild animal predator, whatever had fatal blow or fallen, or due to goring. Now, if this happened, if an animal fell and it was still alive, and you slaughtered it, would that be valid or no? That's what this issue is about. Okay? That's what it means. They disagreed about the effect of dhaka, of this slaughtering, on the categories of animals that have been prohibited in the ayah, if they were caught alive. Now, why the ayah forbade them? Because they are dead. A lion came and took a chunk of the meat of a deer from the leg. And then you came and the lion ran away. The deer is still alive and you slaughtered that deer. Can you eat it or no? That is the issue here. Also, the effect of dhaka on animals whose consumption is forever prohibited. What about slaughtering an animal who's already prohibited, like what? Pig. Lion. Are you allowed to eat lion? So why you slaughter it? We will know there is a reason. The effect of zakah on a diseased animal that has a disease. These are issues of disagreement. We have, I believe, 6. Number 4, whether zakah of the fetus is achieved by the zakah of the mother. That's an issue of disagreement. You slaughter an animal and you find out that it had fetus. Do you eat it or you throw it? Whether there is zakah for locust. Do you do zakah for the grasshopper? Whether there is zakah for amphibious animals. What do you mean by amphibious animals?
Live in water and land.
Water and land. Like frog, you're not allowed to eat it. Specifically. Alligator. What else? Turtle. Okay.
Crab.
Look at this important rule again. They agreed about animals that have been choked, struck by a blow, have fallen, are gored, or are attacked by a predator, that if the strangulation or fall or the strike or any of this has not left them in state in which there is no hope for them, the zakah will be effective. It will be effective. What does that mean?
That means you can slaughter the deer with the lion.
Exactly. You remember the example I told you, the deer?
It can recover.
Why? Because that attack is not fatal. This animal can survive. Or that fall is not fatal. Again, this animal can survive. So they all agreed that the zakah will be what? Effective. That's what this means.
So they still have a chance to live. Basically.
Yeah. They disagreed when there is a predominant probability that the animal will die because of damage to a vital organ or some other reason. Okay? This animal is sick, or it was struck by a stick and it is almost dying, which means if you leave it for 2 more hours, it's going to be dead. Do you slaughter it or no? They disagreed on that. One group of jurists said that the zakah is still effective. Zakah is still effective. Now, why do we focus a lot on zakah, on slaughtering? Because that's the main purpose of making this meat halal. When you take out the blood, blood is very, very harmful if you eat it. That's why it is forbidden, blood. Blood is what carries the diseases and carries all these things. So how you empty the animal from blood? By slaughtering. And again, that's why one of the signs of the perfection of Islam is that slaughtering is one of the conditions. Because when you slaughter, what happens? When you slaughter, what happens? The blood is still pumping, and the blood is going out from the veins. And the brain is sending more signals that I need blood. So the heart, again, pumping more blood until the animal is empty of blood. And now you can eat. That is the purpose of slaughtering. So would that be effective here? One group of jurists said, if you know that this animal is going to die and you slaughter it, it is effective. Other scholars said no, it is already too late. Because it's almost dead. If you leave it, it will die, so it is ineffective. And we'll stop here inshallah. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وصحبه أجمعين.